This meeting to order.
This meeting will also be conducted by audio and video conference without the requirement of a physically present quorum of the Rock Island City Council due to the disaster declaration issued by Governor Pritzker. Because of the order related to COVID-19 health concerns affecting the state and the city, the mayor has determined that an in-person meeting at City Hall with all participants may not be practical or prudent. Alderpersons and staff may not all be physically present due to the disaster, and physical attendance at City Hall may be limited. To participate remotely during the public comment or public hearing portion of the meeting, please join by phone at 1-484-469-7957, PIN 564-857-093#.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Robinson.
Present.
Hurt.
Here.
Gilbert.
Present.
Swanson.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Poulos.
Here.
Keeley.
Here.
And Mayor Tomes.
Here. Thank you very much. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Remain standing for a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right. Public comment. Obviously, somebody is signed up. Thank you. Larry Hunter, your turn, please. If we try to keep anybody speaking at 5 minutes, I'd appreciate it.
I thank God for the privilege and the opportunity to stand before you all here this evening. I have a speech for the City Council. Hello. I would first like to thank the City Councilmen, Councilwomen for allowing us the opportunity and with the City of Rock Island. My name is Larry Hunter, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Board, President of the Pro Football Sports Museum, established in 2018. Pro Sports Museum mission is to celebrate the history, preserve the legacy, and the honor and the heroes of the sports within the community, those who have brought recognition to the community by their accomplishment. Some of you may be aware of the sports history of our beautiful city, which possess good history. For example, Pro Hall of Fame Duke Slater, Ed Haley, Jim Thorpe, and others who played for the Regional Football League, NFL, the Rock Island Independence. Our city is sports history, the future of the NFL, of the Fame Museum, Hall of Fame Museum located in Ohio, Canton, Ohio. But I think it's time that we have something here that showcase and display our original talent. As with most organization businesses, the pandemic put a strain on our organization moving forward to obtain resource material that we need for the development of the museum. However, now we are ready to move forward with this project and begin laying the foundation for our museum. One of the main building bricks for this foundation is acquiring the land located for the display. We have set our eyes on that land. State land, located city land, located address, and we are humbly asking the City Council if we can start moving with the representative of the representative of the city and the mayor so that we can bring the process of acquiring this land. In the past, we have spoken with city representatives about the museum before, but now we are ready to begin this move. It is estimated that the museum could cost millions of dollars, and we are executing the necessary steps to achieve final success. Additionally, we have begun to communicate with the business serving the representative at the NFL, and we were assumed that they are on board with collaborating with the Pro Sports Football Museum. In closing, I would like to say that this museum will be the first of its kind in our city, state, and region. Moreover, this museum will be aid in the revitalization and restoration of our city. The Pro Sports Museum will be bringing everyone together to celebrate our regional history and cultural heritage. We thank you for the opportunity, and we hope that we all can work together to achieve an amazing opportunity in the community milestone. Thank you, city members and mayor. I yield and will await for questions, comments, or feedback.
Thank you. Yep, at this point, there's no comments or feedback, but you can set an appointment up with the city manager or myself in the future, okay?
Well, thank you. I have some literature here I would like for you all to have.
Okay. You just sit on the table there and we'll grab it when we're done. Sit on the table right in front of you there.
Okay, and
Okay. Or Moses
and
there.
some membership cards.
Okay,
Thank you, young man. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anybody, that's all signed up here. Is there anybody virtually? Anybody virtually? Hearing none, I ask one quick comment, public comment if we want. I do. I just want to recognize the Cub Scouts here, Scout Troop, 258 is here, as they're earning their badge, a merit badge, in Citizenship and Community Merit Badge. So they're here to visit, see how this works. They're going to visit with several of us afterwards. But like I say, they get this badge, and there are a lot of them are working toward their Eagle ranking, and are looking to do some civic activities with the city of Rock Island. It is actually run by Joe Gussie with Gussie Architects. Joe lives in Rock Island, his business is in Rock Island. And so thank you for being here. Commend the young youth here and getting involved and working toward great citizenship and learning what happens in your community. So thank you very much, and enjoy and look forward to talking to you guys afterwards. So thank you for being here. Also, we have update rock, oh, not yet. Not yet. I was going to move right into that. Item number 7.
Mr. Mayor, can I say one thing?
Certainly can.
I just want to take this time to congratulate Kristen Carr on her wonderful season with the University of Louisville. She's a graduate of Rock Island High School. Her team she made it the first time for the Elite Eight for the NCAA Women's Championship. Unfortunately, they did lose last night against Iowa. I know some Iowa fans in here, but I just want to take that time to acknowledge her. Also, Bree Bill from Rock Island High School. She's playing tonight. So we have 2 hometown athletes playing in a huge tournament right now. So just
For
want
the
to.
record, they're up 34-28.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm keeping.
You weren't excited about it at all. No, that's great. It's wonderful to see. All right, item number 7.
Minutes from the March 13th, 2023 study session and city council meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz. Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson. Aye.
Item number 8.
Minutes from the March 13th, 2023 closed sessions.
Move To approve the 2 sets of closed session minutes.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Now, it's item number 9, Rock Island update. A couple items happening here in the city of Rock Island. Join the Rock Island Park and Recreation for an Easter egg hunt or a home bunny visit. The spring egg hunt is this Sunday, April 1st. The hunt is free, but children ages 3 to 7 will need to pre-register to attend. Hunt for thousands of colorful eggs in Lincoln Park beginning at 9 a.m. Register by calling 309-732-PARK. Want to have a home bunny visit? For a fee of $35, the Easter Bunny will scatter 20 eggs in your yard. Stick around for a quick photo with you. You can register by calling the Rock Island Fitness and Activity Center at 309-732-7275. Speaking of Easter egg hunts, we have 4 adults who want their own egg hunt with prizes. The Hallberg Estate will host Bunnies, Baskets, and Brews this Sunday, April 1st. Check-in begins at 4 p.m. and the hunt begins at 5 p.m. Hunt for 1,000 eggs hidden over 4 acres. Prizes include a 65-inch flat-screen TV, Apple AirPods, and lots of prizes in local businesses. Yeah, you have too many brews, I don't even find those eggs. Tickets are $40 in advance or $50 at the door. Enjoy a taco bar, bunny photo booth, and lots of Easter egg swag. Proceeds will benefit restoration programs at the Hallberg Estate. Free leaf collection program. The City of Rock Island is providing free leaf collection from April 10th through April 28th. Free leaf bags will be picked up the beginning of April 3rd at the Public Works Department, South Rock Island Township Office, Rock Island Township Assessor's Office, Highland Springs Golf Course, and Saukeys, where you can find the bags to pick up starting April 3rd. Residents must provide proof of Rock Island residency and are limited to 20 free bags per day. Bags will be picked up by the city on normal garbage pickup days. Thank you very much for that. Item number 10.
Proclamation declaring April 6, 2023 as Junior Achievement Day in the City of Rock Island. Whereas the City of Rock Island will observe Junior Achievement Day on April 6, 2023 as an opportunity to recognize and celebrate junior achievement of the Heartland. For empowering our young people to own their economic success, and where Junior Achievement of the Heartland's educational contributions equips our young people to become the next generation of productive employees and self-sufficient citizens to ensure the economic prosperity of Rock Island, and whereas it is fitting for parents, educators, businesses, and other members of the community to join Junior Achievement's efforts to ensure the future success and economic health of our young people in the communities in which they live.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, do hereby proclaim April 6th, 2023 as Junior Achievement Day in the City of Rock Island. We have here Dougal Nelson, if you want to speak, and we can do a little photo op.
I've never turned down an opportunity to speak,
I know
Mike.
you
You know
have.
that, right?
Go ahead.
Anyway,
Let
thank
us
you.
know.
So thank you, City Council, and moreover, thanks to the community of Rock Island. This is always a favorite event for mine because of what I see in the schools, right? How active your community is, the volunteers that go in and help our young children learn. You know, really, when they walk away from that, we want them to know 3 things. And that was a beautiful proclamation, and it's very legalese, if you will. But at the end of the day, we really want our kids to understand the importance of providing for themselves and their families, right? They can't do it alone. They need our help. They need us to lift them up, to show them they can do whatever they want. We also really want them to find a career they know and they love, right? There's nothing better than getting to go to work than having to go to work, right? Nobody likes to have to go to work. And then third, and I was so happy to see the Boy Scouts here, and when we talk about being good, productive, community-minded citizens, we yell that in the classroom, right? We get on the mountaintop and we shout it out. So the Boy Scouts back there, thanks for what you guys are doing. How many of you have had junior achievement? It's always a scary thing to ask, right? Anyway, so thank you, council, thank you, Mayor, for what you do for junior achievement and all those in the room that volunteer. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Come on up with the put up. And also, I got to do a shout out. I'm on the JA board also, but they're always needing volunteers to get in the classroom. I know we've had some city employees. Miles has been one that's taught, and we're always looking for volunteers.
Hey, thanks for saying that about the volunteers. If you go to our website, it's really easy to find a classroom that's open right now. I think we're about 80% to full, so if you want to volunteer, get on the website now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dougal.
Andy's out.
And he's out. All right, item number 11.
Mayor Tomes will close the regular meeting and open a public hearing on a request from Muda Bruth, Karen Asian Mark, for a waiver of the signature requirement to secure a liquor license at 4305 18th Avenue.
Very good. I would like to close the public hearing and close the regular meeting and open a public hearing and invite anybody representing Muda, or Karen. Is there anybody here? Yep, there we are. Come on up. Would you like to speak real quick about the project or what you're looking for? And the microphone, you can lower it down. There you go.
My name is Muda Brood. I'm here to require waiver of my the beer license to a requirement of my grocery store for Korean Asian Market at 4305 80 Avenue. I tried my best to, to send out the paper to my neighbor to sign for me, but some people, they have not signed for me. And I tried to knock their door, but some people, they're not open for me, so.
Okay. Very good. How long have you been in business? How long has the grocery store been there?
The grocery, 3 months now, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so is there anybody that would like, in the audience, that would like to speak in favor of this? You would like to speak in favor? Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak against this? Anybody want to speak? Council have questions. Anybody in the council?
I have one real quick. What is your business hours there that you'll be?
10 to 9, 10 to 8.
Okay,
Are you Monday through Sunday?
Monday to Sunday, yes.
thank you.
And you're looking at just selling beer,
It's only beers.
only beer, any wine?
No wine.
No wine, no alcohol?
No, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions?
How much of your business do you think that will be?
Yeah, I'm not sure too because it's a new business, so I'm not sure how much will be.
Okay.
Yeah, so just only small, for the beer.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we close this? It seems like not a lot of comments.
I guess I have a question. What type of beer? Will it be like any kind of beer you can buy like at Hy-Vee, or will it be special like Asian beer that you can't purchase in the stores anywhere?
Like some is Asian beer and some is like a regular beer. Yes.
All right. If there's no other comments, I will close the public hearing and reopen the city council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to recommend to the Mayor Liquor Commissioner to waive the signature requirements as requested.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I get, I struggle with all of these because, there is a minimum number that we ask for. And it seems like we frequently, and I realize that's the only reason they come to council is because they don't have that minimum number. But I do struggle with, at least on this one, I see that there were not a whole lot of addresses that we're not gonna apply anyhow, as opposed to some of the other ones we've seen. But I gotta be honest, I do struggle with the fact that if you needed if there were 24 properties and you needed a minimum of 13 and we only got 3, I have no problem at all waiving a signature if you're only missing 2 or 3, but I do struggle with waiving a signature if you're missing like 10 or more.
we'll get to it later, I believe, but, I mean, this whole, I'm on both ends of the system, getting letters for the one for last week to, you know, this being in my ward. This whole system's flawed. I mean, and I think we're going to get into that later, but, I mean, let's change it. I mean, we have someone that just has a small grocery store that just wants to sell beer, to full liquor stores, I mean, to people that live in California. I remember when my father went around knocking on doors to get it for the Stern Center, it was impossible to try to track some of these people down. He got them all. I don't know how. I genuinely have no clue. And it's a flawed system, and I know these people are trying their best, and it's hard. I mean, it really truly is hard, and I think we have to figure out a way to make it better so it's more clear, it's more cut, it's more dry. You know, I listened to the meeting that I was not here, and Alderman Robinson said, this is a mess. I mean, last week was a mess, or 2 weeks ago, was a mess. And, you know, I think we just need to make it easier. Dave?
I was just going to say that you go to hearing with the ordinance that you have, not the one that you wish that you had, and I understand those sentiments.
Oh, yeah,
and so
absolutely.
you have to go through the process that you have. That doesn't mean you can't improve it, but I just want to make clear from a legal standpoint that what we're talking about is considering it as it stands today, notwithstanding what it might be in the future. That's all.
Yep.
Thank you for
And again,
cutting in my diatribe.
and again, we are just recommending a waiver.
Yes.
That's it.
Of the
And then
signature
send it back
part of it.
Then it sends it back to the,
Liquor commissioner then
commissioner.
makes a decision off of that.
yes.
And other things. Yes.
I was just gonna say, I agree with Alderwoman Swanson. I'm struggling with this because I'm sure, you know, they're a fine business. I have no objection if you want to give them a liquor license, but 13 required signatures, I think. They secured 3. It looks like the police department could only verify 1, maybe. And there were no dates on any of the obtained signatures, too. So, again, when the number you obtain is in the minimum versus the majority, it's a lot harder to say, go ahead and waive it.
I just think the way we do it with the signatures, since they carry so much weight, and those signatures are so hard to obtain because of the different circumstances that are not the fault of the person who's trying to receive the license. That's my issue, and that's kind of why I waive them, because I know how hard it is to obtain those signatures, especially if the people in that area do not know you. They don't, like she said, they're not gonna open the door. They're not even gonna give you the chance to propose the business that you're trying to open. So, I mean, there's so many different circumstances that go against that, and that signature weighs, and it carries so much weight. So I agree with Alderman Healy. We have to find another way to ensure that we're doing this correctly.
Yep.
So that's just my 2 cents.
We're going to be working on, that's for sure. All right, the motion is to waive the signature requirements, recommend, thank you, Dave. I see that, to recommend to the liquor commissioner to waive the signature requirements. So, if there's no further discussion, we'll do roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Present.
Swanson.
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you. Item number 12.
Consent agenda items A through G.
Girl Judith.
That was a new one for me. You caught me off guard with that.
Is there- Item number 12.
The consent agenda.
Make a
Move
motion.
to, move to approve the consent agenda items A through G.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Item number 13.
Claim report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $77,163.62 to McClintock Trucking and Excavation of Silvis for the Water Service Repair Program and the Sewer Lateral Repair Program.
Motion to allow the claim as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll
Due
call.
to the nature of my employment, I need to recuse myself.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Poulos.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Item 14,
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department recommending the approval of the project bids for the 1830 32nd Street Rehabilitation Project for all 4 phases.
Move to approve the bids and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
moved in second. Any discussion?
I had a question, Miles, if you could step up to the microphone, please. It's my understanding that one of our hopes, I mean, this is a fabulous program. I'm more than happy in voting yes tonight. I've been happy to support it. But it's it's my understanding that one of the goals of this project is to eventually apply for home funding from HUD. Because we've demonstrated that we can do things like this. Where are we at on that? Any timeline on when staff thinks we could start applying for those types of funding?
The City of Rock Island and the City of Moline are planning on having some discussions about forming a consortia so that we can apply together. That is something we should work together on very much, so that we can talk to HUD about securing those funds as a team effort. That may also include, depending on where our conversations go, pulling in some of our smaller neighboring communities so that we can help them out too. So we're beginning that phase of conversation.
So
Thank you.
is there any pot of money where, like, you could take a block of residential homes, say along 11th Street, and fund, minimum $20,000, $40,000 per house or something to make needed improvements in those homes?
Well, general fund. No, in CDBG world, so the way that it works is that it has to be an income qualified household, so that's number one. Number two, you can't just select them all and do them all at once. If you've got a waiting list of other applicants for assistance in your rehab programs, you have to go through in the order they came in. So if you look at any given block in the city, not all of the houses on that block will be income eligible, and then it wouldn't be very easy to do all of them at the same time.
Well, what about under the HUD home program? Because one of the things that came out in that Decatur, Illinois housing study was to focus on a specific neighborhood, a
Yeah.
block at a time,
Yep.
get the improvements made, and then hopefully, go on to the next one kind of thing.
Yeah, they talked
More
about-
impact that way.
Yeah, they
than
talked
one house.
about if you were going to develop housing assistance programs, that you'd want to have them in targeted areas. So obviously, you could do that with a lot of different funding sources. At the present stage, though, with CDBG funds, it's more limited. With home funds, just as a reminder for everyone, remember CDBG, you can use it for rehab. Home funds, you can do rehab and new construction. If we were to secure home funding through some sort of consortia effort, I think our first priority would probably be to do new housing development, particularly probably infill on our vacant lots. That'd probably be the thing that staff would recommend at that point. So potentially, yes, but if we were able to secure home funds, there might be higher and better uses for it.
I think we need to do more for our existing homeowners. That's just.
I couldn't agree with you more. We do.
Okay. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Poulos.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Item 15,
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a special ordinance requesting the transfer of the city's 2023 Home Rule Volume Cap to Quad Cities Regional Economic Development Authority, first reading.
Move to consider the ordinance.
Second.
moved to second. Any discussion? We've done this in the past, every year. Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Poulos.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 16,
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the annexation of 17 city-owned parcels, first reading.
Motion to approve the annexation, subject to minor attorney modifications, and consider the ordinance.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Item 17.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a rezoning request from R1, one-unit residential district, to C2, natural conservation district for 17 parcels near the city's southwest area, first reading.
Motion to approve rezoning request as recommended, subject to minor attorney modifications, and consider the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 18.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding a resolution for the award of $300,000 from the Illinois Housing Development Authority for the Home Repair and Accessibility Program.
Move to adopt the resolution as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 19.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding an amendment to the motor fuel tax resolution appropriating $623,022.89 of motor fuel tax funds to street maintenance for 2022.
Adopt the amended resolution as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Item number 20.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding the motor fuel tax resolution appropriating $974,656 of motor fuel tax funds for street maintenance in 2023.
Move to adopt the resolution as recommended. Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
This needs another comma in it, doesn't it, Mike?
Yes, it does.
There's zeros in there.
And even then, we still wouldn't.
Maybe two.
Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 21.
Report from the Public Works Department requesting approval of $24,000 of American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, revenue replacement funds for the Sunset Marina marketing analysis.
Motion to approve the allocation of $24,000 in ARPA revenue replacement funds for the Sunset Marina marketing analysis.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Robinson. Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 22.
Report from the Finance Department regarding a budget adjustment for the Sunset Marina marketing analysis, increasing the Sunset Marina Fund 541 revenue and expenses and decreasing the general fund expense budgets for CY '23 by $24,000.
Motion to approve the budget adjustment as recommended.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item 23.
Report from the Finance Department regarding a budget adjustment, increasing the general fund budget for CY 2023 by $696,000 from the unused motor fuel tax fund.
Motion to approve the budget adjustment as recommended.
Second.
Oop, good day. It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Item 24.
Report from the Finance Department regarding a budget adjustment for the Martin Luther King Jr. Center, increasing the MLK Activity Fund revenue by $65,000 and expense budget by $159,767 for CY 2023.
Motion to approve the budget adjustment as recommended.
Second. Give it
Been
to
moved-
Mark.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I have questions, but since Mr. Jones is not here,
I would make a motion to table it till April 10th.
Is there anybody else that could answer your questions, do you think, or not?
Well, I
Address the first.
asked them. Okay, Linda, do you want to try?
Yep, that's right.
We can go on with this if she says for a motion to table.
Hi.
All right.
So
Go ahead.
I'm looking at your memo first, and there were unspent funds of $94,767 that were budgeted in 2022, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and in Mr. Jones' memo, it says from a grant. So what grant?
Okay, so I look back at 2022, it's the John Deere Foundation. So in 22, the revenue budget was $195,000 and $140,000 was received. And as far as expenses in 22, the budget was $207,000 and only about $39,000 was expended.
Okay, so you have me confused. So this is all from the John Deere Foundation grant, or John, because he did say last time that there was, some of the money came from John Deere Corporate. So I've heard different things of which grant this is from. I'm just trying to.
So he
pin it
has
down.
John Deere Foundation listed, so I believe that's what that grant is for.
As revenue, that's 65,000
Correct.
in '23. But so why isn't the revenue also include the 94,767, which is carrying over from 2022 to 2023? Why is that not included as revenue budget adjustment? And just the 65,000 is? Shouldn't it also include the 94,767 revenue carryover budget adjustment?
Okay, again, just looking at from my understanding, so there's unused revenue, but less than the expenses. So he's just saying, okay, I want to increase my expenses by that $159,000 of unused and the revenue by the $65,000. So I could take another look at it.
It's still not, I mean, usually the revenue balances the expenditures.
Exactly. But like I said, in last year, they received more revenue, but they expended less. So that's why there's a difference and it's not balancing.
But in his memo, it says he's wanting to carry over unused grant funds of $94,767, but that's not included in the motion for the budget adjustment in terms of revenue. It shouldn't be just $65,000. Does anybody else see that?
So it might be best to maybe table it and we can take another look at it so we can get you a good answer.
We need a second.
Okay, I second the motion to table.
Okay, and that's a non-debatable motion. It takes precedence over the original motion, and so it needs to be voted on first, and then proceed from there depending on what happens.
Okay, roll call on table.
April 10th,
April 10th,
correct?
Correct.
okay?
Do we know, will Mr. Jones be here April 10th?
Well, if not, she
Or
knows what
fill
my
out the
questions
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
Okay.
Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
No.
Pulis.
Yes.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
We're voting on to table or voting on?
Voting on
Yes,
the table.
table.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Item 25.
Report from the Mayor's Office and General Administration regarding a resolution issuing a moratorium on all new Class A, B, C, D, and E liquor license applications for a period of 6 months expiring September 30th, 2023.
Motion to adopt the resolution is recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Now, I think this is a great thing because there is so much confusion around these, and we need to get it cleared up before we have any more come forward.
Correct. things have changed over the years. Obviously, it worked at one time and how it's processed, and it still works in some situations, but we need to do an in-depth review of the whole process.
Right. And I think one of the things that needs to be clear is, because there might be some question of the folks that are out there in the audience or watching, we're talking about new applications. We're not talking about those that may have come forward for a request for exemption tonight or last week or a month ago, not ones that are already in the pipeline, but we're talking about prospectively new applications going forward.
And I think the mayor hit on it. We just need to get it together. It's not in today's day and age, it's not a one-size-fits-all, and that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's a mess. And
I just want to say that, just to be clear, that there is not a moratorium on restaurants that want to serve liquor.
No,
So that
no.
waiver could still come
Yep.
through in the next 6 months to
Yes,
council
yep.
members,
Yeah.
banquet hall, things of that nature, but this is primarily bars, liquor stores, convenience stores.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Item number 26.
Report from the mayor's office regarding the appointments to the Rock Island Downtown Alliance, or RIDA.
Motion to approve the appointments as recommended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion.
They
I
have a
guess-
lot of work to do, and I'm excited to see the work that they're going to do, being now a taxpayer towards this. So,
That's correct. That's correct. I just want to make just a couple notes or comments on it real quick. Jack is not here tonight. Not that he doesn't think this is important or anything else. He is under the weather. He's ill, so he needs to be excused. Kyle's here. If there's anybody wants to talk to Kyle with it. But I got to say that I've personally talked with not only these people that are being nominated here, but everybody that put an application in. The city advertised and put notices out there to let people know that they could apply just before. And we got 28 of them, give or take. I don't remember the numbers, close to there. And there was one or two that were not eligible because they were not in the area, in the district or whatever, or the zone. But we did talk to every one of them fairly in depth. Spent some time explaining the roles of a board member, the fiduciary responsibility that they have to think about that whole SSA district, not just their place or just a certain block or a certain issue. Everybody had a lot of great enthusiasm with it. I feel we've got a lot of diversity, as I talked about with some council members, but I've talked with these. By some of it was unplanned, it's in the ordinance with that diversity, but the diversity is not just as you see in typically a gender or a race and everything else, but the diversity of small business, large property owner, small property owner, and that sort of thing, the traits that they bring, whether they have a financial background or a marketing background or whatever it is. We really tried to look hard at making sure this group was well diverse that way also, to make sure that everybody is represented one way or the other in this group. There's people that have sat on the steering committee from day one. There's people on this that were not in favor of this at one time or another, or all. Even today, they want to get involved and learn more about it because they know it's going to happen. So I really feel good about it. And I say I know Jack was involved with it also, so I commend the chamber for their efforts for the last several years and putting this together and working with it, and Jack in his due diligence with it also. I'll say heavy lifting really becomes now in getting this board meeting, working on budgets, working on planning. We've talked about that with everybody that I met with. Actually, real quick, there are some that are in the audience. Those that are on the board are going to be on the board. Could you mind standing for a second? I know there's Aaron, there's John, there's a number of people here. But so these people, obviously, we got a few representations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 12. 13th is our city manager that has a permanent, so you didn't have a choice but to work with him.
So great to see so many of them here tonight.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And they were, once again, it was their choice in a lot of cases to be here. It wasn't this understanding mandatory or anything else. In this group, it was a pleasure spending some time and talking with them. Some I knew from past, some I did not. And I learned a lot myself and what businesses were out there. So, not to belabor this, but it is an important fact, important process and issue that we have in front of us. Because it's the future. It's the livelihood of our, I'll say downtown area, but it's a little larger than as people envision downtown. But I'm very, very excited, and thank you very much. And I told, like I say, every one of you, but thank you very much for your volunteering your time and your treasures and your efforts to this, because everyone here is putting money in it too also. It's much appreciated, and look forward to great things happening. It's going to be a kind of a crazy thing here at first, getting started, and then it'll smooth out, and we look forward to it. Part of you will probably be in front of the city council in June when you present a budget. So I look forward. Kyle, did you have anything? You all right?
No, I would just reiterate that we couldn't be happier with how this all shook out, and I think that the board makeup was outstanding. So
Yeah.
ready to do the real work.
There you go. So, with that, we will do a roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Item 27.
Report from the Mayor's Office regarding appointments to the Arts Commission and Beautification Commission and reappointment to the Fire and Police Commissioners Board.
Move to approve the appointments and reappointments as recommended.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Robinson.
Aye.
Hurt.
Aye.
Gilbert.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Very good. Item number 28. Other business. Anything good for the cause?
I do. So, and I talked to the fire chief about this already, because I didn't want to blindside him with it, but in Ward 4, we have a real issue with recreational burns. And the fact that in some of the areas, the recreational burns go 24/7, 7 days a week, and never are extinguished, but they are in legitimate fire pits, and they are legitimate legal burns, so there isn't anything legally you can do because according to our ordinance, they're fine. However, the residents in those neighborhoods complain about how hard it is to be out during the day doing work in their yard, the elderly residents with breathing issues. There are some residents in that area who do have breathing problems and are trapped in their homes because they can't go out because of the smoke. I live about 8 blocks away, and I can sometimes smell the smoke. So it's become a real issue, and I'm sure it's not just unique to my ward. I'm sure it's all over. But I would like to ask if the city manager and the fire chief, because we have a new city manager and a new fire chief since I first brought this up 2 years ago and last year, but if we could work together with city staff to figure out, is there anything we can do to tweak our burn ordinance so that they can't burn 24/7? I mean, I don't know whether, and I know it's problematic to tell people you can only burn on this day, you can't burn on that day. It's also really hard to keep track of who's burning on what days, but maybe we can only, and I know this is unpopular, but we can only burn on certain days or after certain times. But to be honest, last year when it was 105 degrees outside and these people had a fire going, it wasn't because they needed to have a fire going, but it was more to create a nuisance and a problem. So I would just like to ask if we could look at our ordinance and see if there's anything we can do to help people.
Yep, the chief and I will take a look at it and see what's occurring and if it can be dealt with under the current ordinance, or perhaps if there's any amendment that needs to be made. Chief, did you want to comment?
I know, right? Yeah.
What's in?
Project for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, this has just been a contentious issue over the 25 years that I've been working here, and we did that exactly at the very beginning where it was kind of you could burn anything. Then we went to so many days a week, and that became very confusing and weather-related. Then Public Works was very kind to do the leaf bags, so that eliminated a lot. Our call volume for that has gone down dramatically, and they're very isolated instances that we deal with. But we can do some comparables with the other cities in the area and how they're dealing with them.
Okay, and they're not burning leaves. I mean, they're burning firewood.
Yeah, so when our individuals get there, that's one of the first things they check is, what they're burning and how they're doing it. And same as any other ordinance, they're going to conform to what it is to meet their needs.
Okay.
So you're looking at even firewood type deal to not have it all the time.
Yes, I mean, I personally, I don't think you need to burn a fire in your backyard all day, all night, all summer long, every day. I mean,
That's a lot of wood.
100, yeah, it is a lot of wood, but yeah.
I would concur with Alderwoman Swanson, and if you're one of those persons who has breathing issues, yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to breathe, trust me, I know from personal experience, let alone, like, it keeps you in the house instead of being able to go outside and get some fresh air.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
During the last couple of weeks, I've had some complaints, and I took the opportunity earlier when we were discussing houses, but the rental, the landlords that we have, the rental houses that we have, they're not keeping them up. They're in some cases, a lot of trash in them. Now, is that something that our rental manager is looking over, and what are we going to do about that?
So we don't have a rental manager, we have inspectors who go to those properties.
okay.
But if there are specific properties you have concerns about or that you receive complaints about, please forward them to the CED department so that we can go and investigate them. Oftentimes, if that is the kind of nuisances you're seeing, they're probably not registered rentals, or they're not rental properties at all, they're just messy owner-occupied ones, in which case we would cite them separately. So any of those complaints, please forward us the addresses so that we can investigate, because there are steps we can take.
Okay, thank you.
And that goes for everybody, too. Again, I've said it several times in different forums, but, it's a team effort. So your residents and you, please let staff know we can't be everywhere at once. But so much of this enforcement action is dependent on all of you and your constituents giving us, some tips and clues about where we need to go and do the work.
And sometimes that there's a delay in it. I actually called on a couple properties this last week, and the person called and was complaining and everything else. And I talked to CED, and it turns out that they already were in the process and been cited and notified and everything else. But Public Works had the notice. But sometimes it takes Public Works, they're 2 weeks. In some cases, they get backlogged in these free pickups and also nuisance deals and everything else. So sometimes there's a delay of a couple weeks from when we're notified and take action to when there's actually, or wanting to take action to when Public Works can get there.
So those complaints should go straight through CED or CED and the city manager? How do you want to work that?
Send them to me, please.
And then the process will be, then a notice will go out to abate that nuisance, and then there's a time period that the landowner's given. I think it's 30 days or it's 4 weeks off the top of my head.
No, it's less than that.
It's less than that, okay.
Yeah.
So, but they get a notice, and then I usually get a phone call saying, hey, that's my decorative yard art, and I say, well, yeah, probably not. And
There's some pretty creative artwork out there.
There's some pretty creative artwork out there. So then they end up in municipes after they have not, if they have not cleaned up. And actually, city staff also goes out and will abate those nuisances themselves if they have to. So the process, it does take a little bit of time because you have to be cognizant of due process for those who make those types of allegations, and they do get pretty creative sometimes. But I think if you see something, say something, and those folks will help you out. They work very hard, and they'll do a good job of rectifying it.
I think it is important, that there's a number of homes out there that are not registered for rental. And so it would help to know those, to work on and get them on that list, so we can work with inspections on the future on a regular basis. And of course, if those renters, can file a formal complaint, and we can continue to work on that blighted or life safety issues if need be, it's very important. That communication to close that loop.
Identifying unregistered rental properties is a big focus of the building official. We're ramping up the number of inspections that we're doing to try to get a handle on the situation. But again, if you suspect that there is an unregistered rental or that there is any sort of problem, please, please, please let us know so that we can go and start the work of getting it sorted. I know Alderman Parker in the Fifth Ward relatively frequently is sending me some addresses, and we do follow up on them and report back. So if there's specific problem properties you have, we will keep you in the loop as we undertake enforcement.
And then the other problem, I'll just get with Miles and not bring it up here in
Either way.
chambers.
If you wanna bring
It's
it
just it's a garbage issue, but it has to do, I know the business owners are doing the best they can to keep the roadways clear, but it just continues to occur, and that's in the area of 30th Street and 18th Avenue. So you got a lot of traffic that goes through there with the restaurants and the gas stations and what have you. So I don't know how to handle it. I don't know, because I know that I've talked to the business owners. They're doing the best they can, but it's just,
It's a little harder if it's on private property.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's been a problem. I used to live at 1717 31st Street, not too far from where you're talking about, and I had a hedge there, and it's been a problem for 30 years. I moved there in 1992, and it's been an issue for a long time. But I think if neighbors go out and clean stuff, I mean, we ended up, neighbors go out and clean stuff up, and, but you've got the junior high school walk through traffic and stuff, and a lot of garbage gets thrown out that way, and it blows into the neighbors' bushes. But if you have a good solution, I'd love to hear it.
I would point out, I would point out the Beautification Commission, and you've appointed some folks there tonight. The Beautification Commission does have equipment if folks in a neighborhood want to organize a little garbage pickup event. We do have neighbors organize these. They touch base with the Beautification Commission. The Beautification Commission provides them gloves and bags, little grabbers. So if folks in an area, anywhere in the city, want to do like a little neighborhood cleanup, the Beautification Commission can assist with that. I know Public Works will also, if you're doing a bigger cleanup, pick up bags of garbage if you leave them at a predetermined location. The Broadway Neighborhood Association periodically will do that throughout the year, and they'll leave all the bags in a location for Public Works to take care of. So actually, if folks want to, just take the initiative and clean it up themselves, the Beautification Commission and Public Works can lend a hand.
And I would also add to that we do have a mechanism by which a geographic area can receive increased services like garbage pickup. We just did it for the downtown, and the Hilltop is certainly a geographic commercial corridor as well. So something that maybe we should consider.
Yep.
That's it.
Anything else?
Yes. Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, no, I would just like to remind everyone that a week from tomorrow, April 4th, is Election Day, municipal elections, not just for alderpersons in the 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 7th Ward, but also for representatives on our Rock Island Milan School District Board, on our Black Hawk College Board, and our city clerk, she voted today. I'm not sure what else was on the ballot.
That was it.
That was it. So everybody go out and vote, whether your ward is having an election or not. There are still other things on the ballot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, over the past few weeks, I've been in contact with Chief Landy and Public Works and Todd, and quite honestly, I'm about getting tired of watching all these signs around town for mattresses and diabetic test strips, and I know it's taking up exuberant amounts of time by Public Works, and I'm not even sure what the number of hours they put in, but I guess my question is, have we received any responses? I know we've made a couple contacts with some of these phone numbers, so I guess I'm asking, is any of you guys that I've contacted or that would be involved, where are we at with all this?
Miles made contact with some of them. He might report on what he found.
Yeah, I think we've each kind of broken the work up to try and contact people. So I contacted the mattress company. And they were of the impression that as long as their signs were 6 feet from sidewalks, that was fine. And of course, I responded, and I believe I forwarded you my email correspondence with them. Well, if it's on somebody's private property and you don't have permission to put your signs there, how does that work? Can you prove you had permission? And they said, oh, we didn't understand that. I don't know what there is to understand. What's hard about that? So, it's interesting. In nuisance signage is one of those real annoying problems because it is kind of like garbage blowing in the wind. You can go around and pick them all up and then suddenly they're all back. People just go around dropping them willy-nilly here and there, and it's really hard ultimately to deal with it in some sort of final way. I would say that a lot of this signage, ultimately, we are going to have to keep just kind of picking it up. But obviously, if you are a property owner and you walk out the front door and you see that someone is trying to use your property to advertise their business or sell diabetic test strips or whatever it is, you can also remove that too. No one should be putting stuff in your front yard without your permission or outside of your parking lot. So, bit of a group effort, again, kind of similar to picking up garbage blown around in an area of the town.
I mean, there's gotta be
we can keep
there has to
contacting
be
the.
something that when they're sticking them on city stop signs,
Mhm.
they're putting them high enough on the utility poles. Our public works has to get out ladders, go up and spend hours scrubbing this garbage off of there, and which their time could be much better spent doing other things for the city. And there's got to be some kind of an answer to put an end to it. I mean, I know it's not just a Rock Island problem
Sure.
because I see it everywhere, but it's a horrible look.
Could we amend our ordinance and start placing, I mean, because when you start having all these signs that show up even in the public right away, it's like, it contributes to, I don't know, I don't want to say tacky, but it's, I mean,
It
you know.
is.
I'll say that. It does look tacky.
It's, what, I forget what the word is that it's called, but anyways, like if we amended the ordinance and then started putting fines on, you know.
I think that the point I'm making is,
Clean it up.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that. My point is just saying there's always going to be more people and more businesses trying to put up those signs. So we can keep citing and citing and citing, but there'll always be more.
I mean,
So-
could we fine them for,
We'll
could we
continue.
establish some kind of a?
We can certainly look into it, and I think that to some extent there would be a question for legal, I think, about the efficacy of citing businesses that are like not here.
Right, so you can have, I mean, your commercial speech is the least protected of your speech, so your political speech is number one, obviously, that's much more hard to regulate. If you have commercial speech, which this is, apparently, they're advertising for services, you could have an ordinance, and then, of course, the question comes back to proving, are they the ones that sanction these being put up? Because some LLC in California is going to say, well, we had no idea that these people were doing this. They did it of their own accord, and then you're going to be able to track that back. You might be able to. I know we had some success with some of the roofing companies that were causing problems with unsolicited business, so we might deal with it similar to that. So I think there are things that you could do, but we need to have a realistic expectation of some of these folks are pretty slippery. As you'll hear from the guy that's on Saturday that tells you have no case. I can't think of his name. Bill Handel. So we tell you, you can sue somebody, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a judgment and be able to collect on it. And so a lot of these places, you could probably get a judgment against them. Can you collect? Yeah, but maybe that's probably not what we want anyway. We want them just to stop, and so maybe it would at least slow them down.
My biggest thing is the
Permit.
stuff that they're putting on the poles, and, I mean, the other ones you can pick up, I get, not that I like that either.
Right, well, defacing, I
We're-
mean,
but that's defacing our stuff, too.
defacing public property is certainly something that I think is probably already covered in our ordinances. Can't tell you off the top of my head, but I can't go out and paint something on public property and make you guys clean it off without having been some consequence if you can show that I'm the guy that did it.
We'll continue to work on it. Some of the challenging ones are the ones that all you have is a phone number, unless you catch them in the act. Sometimes it's hard to trace down.
Chief, you can
the
handle
phone
that,
number.
can't you?
Buy some test
So
strips.
we'll
Yes,
continue.
I was going to say, it may shock you to think that someone who's offering to buy your unused diabetic test strip is a slippery character. I mean, it's hard to fathom.
We'll continue to work on it, but it does have its challenges.
All right, I'm just speaking, I'm just kind of getting tired of looking at them, so.
Oh, so I think we're all in agreement on that.
Very good. All right, if there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, I assume there's no discussion on that. Roll call.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy. Robinson. Hertz.
Aye.
Gilbert. And Swanson.
Present.
I wanted to